The Dodgers received heartwarming news just moments ago that has left the entire baseball world completely moved and deeply inspired. Shohei Ohtani, the greatest player on the planet and the cornerstone of the Los Angeles Dodgers franchise, has once again demonstrated that his extraordinary qualities extend far beyond anything that can be measured by statistics or performance numbers. According to multiple sources within the Dodgers organization, Ohtani was the very first person to rush to the side of injured pitcher Yency Almonte Diaz following his surgery, offering comfort, support, and personal care in a way that left everyone who witnessed it completely speechless. On the day that news of Diaz's surgery spread through the Dodgers clubhouse, the atmosphere was heavy with concern and uncertainty. Injuries are an unavoidable part of professional baseball, but that knowledge never makes them easier to process, especially when a teammate goes under the knife and faces an uncertain road to recovery. The entire organization felt the weight of the moment. But while others were still processing the news and figuring out how to respond, Shohei Ohtani had already made his decision. Without hesitation, without fanfare, and without any desire for recognition, he was the first to reach Diaz's side. When news of Ohtani's remarkable gesture first began circulating through the clubhouse and eventually reached the media, personnel were greatly surprised and deeply moved by what they were hearing. This wasn't a public relations move orchestrated by the team. This wasn't a carefully planned media moment designed to generate positive coverage. This was a genuine, spontaneous act of human compassion from a man who many consider to be living in an entirely different stratosphere of athletic achievement, yet who never once allows that status to distance him from the people around him. Freeman spoke to reporters and admitted that he was completely moved by what Ohtani had done for Diaz. Freeman said that the first thing that came to his mind when he heard about Ohtani's visit was a deep sense of pride in his teammate and in the culture of the organization. He was particularly struck by the fact that Ohtani didn't wait to be asked or encouraged by coaches or team officials. He simply acted from his heart because he genuinely cares about the people he plays alongside every single day. Many people couldn't help but feel emotional when they learned about the details of what had transpired between Ohtani and the injured Diaz. Immediately afterward, all the questions from the press were focused on the nature of Ohtani's relationship with injured players on the roster and what his actions revealed about his character as a leader. The Dodgers clubhouse, already known as one of the most cohesive and professionally managed environments in all of baseball, had just been given a powerful reminder of why that culture exists and who helps maintain it on a daily basis. After the full details of the story emerged, multiple sources within the organization directly addressed the most talked-about question regarding Ohtani's remarkable behavior toward his injured teammates. Sources revealed that Ohtani's visit to Diaz following surgery was not an isolated incident. According to those familiar with the situation, this is simply who Shohei Ohtani is behind the cameras and away from the spotlight. He has made it a personal priority throughout this season to check in regularly on every player who has been sidelined due to injury, offering encouragement, companionship, and genuine emotional support. Sources confirmed that Ohtani has been quietly performing this role throughout the season without ever seeking recognition or drawing attention to himself. This is a special quality that goes far beyond what is expected of even the most respected veteran players. He emphasized through his actions that no injured teammate would feel forgotten or isolated during their recovery journey. When asked about the specific details of his visit to Diaz, sources say that Ohtani sat with him for an extended period, speaking words of encouragement, sharing meals, and simply being present in the way that only a true friend and leader knows how to be. The Dodgers organization revealed additional context about how Ohtani approaches his relationships with injured teammates. According to team officials, Ohtani has developed a personal routine of visiting the training room and rehabilitation areas where injured players spend the majority of their time during recovery. Rather than simply popping in for a brief appearance before returning to his own preparation, Ohtani reportedly spends meaningful amounts of time with each player, learning about their recovery progress, understanding their emotional state, and offering whatever support he can provide. Mookie Betts revealed that after witnessing Ohtani's consistent care for injured teammates throughout the season, the entire clubhouse has been deeply affected by his example. Betts said he had always known that Ohtani was a special person in addition to being a special player, but seeing him show up repeatedly for teammates like Diaz and others who were going through some of the most difficult moments of their professional careers revealed a depth of character that left everyone speechless. When he saw Ohtani rushing to Diaz's side before anyone else had even organized their thoughts, Bet said he felt something profound shift in his understanding of what leadership truly looks like. Betts revealed that it was all so natural and unforced that many Dodgers personnel initially didn't even realize what they were witnessing. Just moments after news of Diaz's surgery reached the team, while coaches and officials were still organizing their response and figuring out the appropriate next steps, Ohtani was already moving with purpose and determination toward his injured teammate. According to Betts, there was no discussion, no deliberation, and no hesitation. Ohtani simply knew what needed to be done and did it immediately. To be honest, watching Shohei with the injured guys on this team has changed the way I think about leadership, Betts said with genuine emotion in his voice. He's not doing it because someone told him to. He's not doing it because it looks good for his image. He does it because he actually cares about every single person in this clubhouse, and that kind of genuine care is something you can't fake and you can't manufacture. According to the players, everyone on the roster has been touched by Ohtani's consistent attention to injured teammates throughout the season. His approach has created a ripple effect throughout the clubhouse, inspiring other healthy players to follow his example and check in more regularly on those who are sidelined. The culture of care that Ohtani has helped establish goes far beyond what most baseball teams experience, and it has become one of the defining characteristics of this particular Dodgers roster. Shortly after it was confirmed that Ohtani had been the first to comfort Diaz following surgery, reporters began gathering accounts from other injured players who had experienced Ohtani's personal attention during their own recovery periods. According to eyewitnesses and the players themselves, the stories were remarkably consistent. Every player who had been sidelined with an injury this season could point to specific moments when Ohtani had shown up for them in ways that went far beyond what anyone would expect from a teammate. Many reporters stated that the picture emerging from these accounts was of a man who functions in the clubhouse with the awareness and emotional intelligence of a seasoned manager rather than a player focused solely on his own performance. Sources say that Ohtani pays careful attention to the emotional dynamics of the entire roster, noticing when players are struggling, when morale needs lifting, and when individual teammates need personal support. For him, being part of a team means accepting responsibility not just for his own preparation and performance but for the well-being of every person in the organization. Sources close to Ohtani say he strongly believes that injured players face some of the greatest mental and emotional challenges that professional athletes encounter. The physical pain of surgery and rehabilitation is difficult enough, but the psychological weight of watching your teammates compete while you are stuck on the sidelines can be devastating for a competitor's spirit. Ohtani understands this deeply, and his visits to injured teammates are designed specifically to address that emotional dimension of recovery that medical staff alone cannot fully reach. Therefore, everyone in the Dodgers organization has come to recognize Ohtani's role in the clubhouse as something that transcends the traditional definition of a baseball player. He functions simultaneously as the team's greatest performer and its most attentive caretaker, balancing both responsibilities with a grace and naturalness that continues to leave everyone around him in a state of quiet amazement. After learning about Ohtani's remarkable behavior toward Diaz and other injured players, manager Dave Roberts addressed the situation with visible emotion and deep admiration. Roberts has managed many talented and respected players throughout his career, but he acknowledged that what Ohtani brings to the human dimension of the clubhouse is genuinely unlike anything he has ever witnessed in his decades in professional baseball. Roberts said that managing a baseball team requires understanding not just the physical and strategic dimensions of the game but the emotional and psychological dimensions as well. Great managers know how to read the room, understand individual needs, and respond to the human realities that inevitably surface over the course of a long and demanding season. What makes Ohtani's behavior so extraordinary, Roberts explained, is that he does all of this naturally and instinctively without any managerial title or authority, purely through the force of his genuine care and his extraordinary emotional intelligence. He just knows, Roberts said thoughtfully. He knows who needs encouragement and when they need it. He knows who is struggling emotionally underneath the surface even when they're putting on a brave face. And he responds to that knowledge with action rather than just words. That's something most people in baseball never develop regardless of how long they play or manage. Freeman, reflecting further on the significance of Ohtani's care for injured teammates, made a point that resonated deeply with everyone who heard it. He noted that the Dodgers have one of the most talented rosters in baseball, filled with players who have achieved remarkable individual success throughout their careers. But what makes this particular group special, Freeman suggested, is the way they genuinely care for one another beyond the professional obligations of being teammates. And at the center of that culture of care, consistently and quietly, stands Shohei Ohtani. Freeman revealed a specific detail about Ohtani's visit to Diaz that had not yet been reported. According to Freeman, Ohtani didn't just stop by for a brief appearance after the surgery. He reportedly spent hours with Diaz during the initial recovery period, staying long after most people would have felt their obligation fulfilled, talking, listening, and simply being present in the way that matters most during vulnerable moments. Freeman said that when he heard this detail, he felt an emotion that was difficult to put into words. "That's not a teammate," Freeman said quietly. "That's a brother. That's someone who genuinely loves the people around him and shows that love through action when it matters most." As news of Ohtani's remarkable behavior continued to spread throughout the baseball world, the reaction from fans and analysts was overwhelming. Social media platforms were flooded with messages of admiration not just for Ohtani's athletic achievements but for his character as a human being. Many fans expressed that learning about this side of Ohtani made them appreciate him in an entirely new and deeper way. Statistics and awards are impressive, they noted, but genuine human compassion is something far rarer and far more meaningful. Baseball analysts began discussing Ohtani's behavior in the context of leadership and its impact on team performance. Several pointed out that the correlation between genuine team cohesion and postseason success is well established, and that Ohtani's role in building and maintaining that cohesion could prove to be one of his most valuable contributions to the Dodgers' championship aspirations. A team that genuinely cares for its injured members, that rallies around vulnerability rather than hiding from it, is a team that carries something extra onto the field every single day. Diaz himself, speaking from his recovery, addressed the media with visible emotion when asked about Ohtani's visit and support. The injured pitcher said that waking up after surgery to find Ohtani there beside him was something he would never forget for the rest of his life. In that moment, when the uncertainty of recovery and the frustration of being injured felt heaviest, seeing his teammate there without being asked, without any obligation, meant everything that words could not fully express. "He didn't have to be there," Diaz said softly, his voice carrying the weight of genuine gratitude. "He has his own preparation, his own responsibilities, his own pressures that nobody else on this team can fully understand. But he was there. He was the first one there. And that told me everything I need to know about who Shohei Ohtani really is as a person." Thank you for watching this truly heartwarming coverage. Please share your thoughts in the comments section about Shohei Ohtani's remarkable care for his injured teammates. Does this change the way you see him beyond his extraordinary athletic achievements? What does his behavior tell us about the kind of leader and person he truly is? Subscribe to our channel for more interesting and up-to-date coverage of the moments that remind us why baseball is so much more than just a game.